All right, welcome back to Jeff Stimson's Poker Vlog. Happy 2020. Better without sunglasses, perhaps? Yeah, sorry about that. Welcome back to Jeff Stimson's Poker Vlog. Happy 2020, everybody. We're getting back to the poker grind this year. Didn't play a whole lot through the holidays. We got the one vlog out that we did over in Arizona, and appreciate all the feedback I've gotten on that already. And so yeah, we've played quite a few days, just getting going here again in 2020. This next vlog will be a couple days, nights, whatever, over at Red Rock. Played my first tournament of 2020. So yeah, I played in the tournament over the Venetian, and there's lots of things about tells out there, but listen to people as they're talking to people next to them. They give away a lot of information. They started a new table because they had enough additional alternates, and so they pulled some of the later entrants and put them to this new table. So while we were waiting for everybody to get to the new table, the one guy says, "Oh my gosh, that guy, he raised every hand. He was just one of those players, and he knew if nothing but junk flopped, he was going to go all in. I just wanted to be able to catch something against that guy. I couldn't play a hand." As we started, I believe the second or third hand at this table, I'm on the big blind. There's a couple limpers. I have pocket aces, so of course, we're going to raise it up. Pocket aces, right? So in this tournament, you start with 20,000, and I'm sitting between 19,000 and 19,500, somewhere in that range. He has me covered. Let's go through the action real quick. So pre-flop, I believe the blinds are 100, 200. I raised it to about 1,100. There's a couple limpers. We make it 1,100. He calls 10 high flop. I go ahead and continuation bet for 1,700, and he quickly calls. So at this point, I assume he's thinking I'm like this other player that he just mentioned. I'm going to be overly aggressive and a low flop and go after it. And I feel he has a 10 here, just the way he kind of gave me a quick glance and quickly called. So it leaves me with about 16,000 behind, and with about 5,000-6,000 in the pot. The turn's a low card once again. There's no flush draw on board. There's no straight draw on board. And I go ahead and I jam all in. And I do this. I was thinking of his comments of, "Oh my gosh, that's all that guy did was just jam. I can't wait to have a hand to catch him." I jam all in without even thinking. He immediately calls. I turn over aces. He had called with 10 jack. So he had paired his 10 on the flop as I had thought. Got no help on the river. And basically went all in just because he was frustrated by another player that was being aggressive, and I happened to have a hand. Honestly, I would not have played the aces that way. Had he not talked when he came to the table and said that, I would have played it a little more straightforward. I still would have won. I don't know that I would have got all his stack. Needless to say, I got the whole stack on the turn, and just because of his frustration and his story. Yeah, just something to think about. Listen to people. They're giving all kinds of information for free. He doubled up early in this tournament, sitting at about 40,000 when the blinds are at 100, 200. So, that went pretty well. That got us pretty deep into the tournament. We went a little ways. 60-some entrant, paid the top 7. We finished in 16th. Had an unlucky, queens versus jacks. I had the queens, jack hit the river. Man, what are you going to do? All right. Well, it's that time. I gotta get inside. I'm right outside the casino. I'm gonna go play some cards. Okay, so let's get right into it. This very first hand here, we've only played a few hands at this session so far. Everyone's been pretty passive, a lot of limping, and we're on the button. There's a middle position call or limp, and I look down at King 6 of diamonds. And since I'm on the button, have position, I go ahead and make a raise up to $7. As I reach for chips, the small blind says easy. Apparently trying to slow down the aggression. That didn't work too well. He folds, the big blind goes ahead and makes the call, and the limper makes the call. And we're off to a flop of Queen 7-3 rainbow. The big blind checks. Middle position player also checks. I go ahead and reach for chips and put out a bet of $12, a little better than half the pot. Big blind folds, middle position player folds, and we go ahead and take down our first pot of the night a few hands in. So off to a good start, playing our button the way we should, and
continue on from there. Okay, we pick up the action 2 hands later. We're in the hijack. Folds to us. We look down at jacks, and we make the open raise to $7. The cutoff makes the call, and the big blind makes the call. The cutoff has to be reminded that he only put out $6 instead of $7, as we play with $1 and $2 chips over there at Red Rock. We get it all straightened out, and the big blind checks dark, and we go to a flop of deuce 5-8 rainbow. Pretty safe flop for us. We go ahead and grab some continuation chips and make a bet of $12. The cutoff quickly raises up to, well, $23, and the dealer, you can see, says, well, you have to make at least 24. And then the dealer again has to tell him, hey, you have to at least make it 24. And he says, I'm confused. And so we show him, there's the bet. He goes, oh, these $1 and $2 chips really confused me. I thought I raised more than that. Oh, well, I guess I can only make it 24. In an attempt, I guess, to get me to fold my hand. Yeah, that worked really well, as we went ahead and re-raised him to $87, and he postured for quite some time, hemming and hawing, and decides he does not want to gamble. He says that, actually, and he folds his hand. So his attempt to make us not be so aggressive twice now has not worked out. Ends up in a hand or two later picking up his chips and moving tables.
Okay, so we had a short session. We only played about 90 minutes that day. Had somewhat of a felt thumper, if you will, at the table. Liked to slam his hands down on the table quite a bit. Made the camera shake a little bit, and he was just, couldn't keep still, a little antsy. So we only shot a few hands, and again, only played for about 90 minutes. We were in for 300, out for 400, so it was a good 90-minute session. And move on to the next day. Today we did a little hiking over at Red Rock Canyon and had a good time there. So I'm going to go over a few hands that we did yesterday before we go to the casino tonight. So this first hand, we're under the gun. We have an ace-4 of spades. We decided to go ahead and raise it up to $6. We're playing a 1-2 limit here. So 3 times the blind, first position under the gun, probably not the best decision. The table's been pretty tight, so just trying to start some action here and see what gets going. Under the gun +1 makes it raise to $16, and as it folds around to the cutoff and he mucks his hand, he accidentally exposes his cards, which shows the 10 of spades and the 4 of diamonds. So a couple of my outs right there. So I'm not going to make the call. Again, bad position, probably a little light in the raise in early position with this type of hand anyway. And seeing that some of my outs are now gone, we fold there and move on to the next hand. So a couple hands later, I'm in the small blind. It's a couple limpers, and we looked at a king-queen offsuit, and we elect to just complete the action at this point in time. The big blind checks his option, and we're off to a flop of queen, ace, 8 with 2 spades. I go ahead and check, as does the big blind. First limper makes a bet of $10. The next limper folds. I go ahead and make the call, and the big blind folds. Now, the player bet $10. He was a limp re-raiser, once with pocket kings and once with ace queens. So I just decided to make the call of $10 and see what comes next. The turn is a 6 of diamonds, so it really doesn't improve anything. I check, and he once again bets $10. So at this point, yeah, he could have an ace, but it's pretty cheap at this right now to me still. Just go ahead and make the call of $10. We get to a river, which is a good one. It's another king, so it does give us 2 pair, which is probably going to be good most of the time. I go ahead and check. I just want to keep the pot small right now. I hate to bet and have him re-raise and put me to a decision with straight now on board with ace king queen out there, flush on board. There's a lot of options there he could have. He could have a better 2 pair. So I just check. He bets $15, which is pretty light into this size pot. So of course we make the easy call, and he shows pocket 7. So yeah, I probably could have bet more. I don't know if I would have got much out of it. If I lead out here, or if I re-raise with pocket 7s and all these overcards, I don't think I'm getting anything else from him. I think just checking the 2 pair down here was the right option. And we go ahead and take that one down. So we end up moving tables, and we're fairly new at this table, a few hands maybe in. We're sitting in late position here, and we looked at a jack 9 of clubs. There's 1 limper, so we go ahead and make a raise to $8. The big blind calls, as does the limper. So the flop is queen 7-10 with 2 clubs. This is an excellent flop for us. First 2 players check. I go ahead and bet out. I make it $20 to go. I'm pretty new at the table, so I think my range is probably capped at just some ace king type hands, ace queen. Probably not as strong as it is, so I want to go ahead and bet here and get some value in now with these players in the hand. Now the big blind does fold, and the limper to my right makes the call. The turn is a 10 of clubs. This completes our flush. and we still have outs to the straight flush if he did happen to turn a full house here. He checks once again, and I put out a bet of $35. That's about half the pot. I have no idea where his range is. Again, only being a few hands in. If he has like an ace-queen type hand, 2-pair top kicker. If he has a 10 in his hand, excellent. So I think I'll get some calls from some pretty good hands here, especially if he has like the ace-queen with the ace of clubs. So he quickly raises. He doesn't announce a dollar amount. He just simply grabs a stack of chips and shoves them out there. Looks to be about 100 on top of my bet. I don't have a whole lot behind. I go ahead and shove all in for a total of 190. His bet turns out to be 145, so it does raise him up an additional $45. He exclaims, he sighs, I guess you could say, and he puts out the calling chip. He said, "Do you have the flush?" I said, "Yes." I turn it over, and he doesn't show his hand. As he mucks his cards, the river's ace of hearts doesn't help him. It looks like he has 8 of clubs in his hand, so he had my straight flush out there. So I don't know if he had like the queen 8 of 2-pair as possible, I guess here. Don't know, but we take that one down. It was a good sized pot, and we needed that this time of the day just to kind of get us going. We get quite a few playable hands, but just for small pots that we take down. Pocket 8s, king queen of diamonds, king 10 of clubs, queen 8 of clubs. You know what? We're slowly grinding, slowly building that stack. So ultimately, we run it up pretty good through the evening. We ended up taking a break from the filming as we got it's after midnight. We got a loud, obnoxious person at the table. I'm sure you can all relate to them showing up. They're a good source of income, but hard on the ears. So I put in my headphones, turned off the camera for a while, and just focused on my game. We did suffer one bad beat post-flop. Not going to go through it. No one wants to see a bad beat story. It's not why you tune into the channel. So we had a 2-pair on the turn. Get it all in. He calls with a gut shot, hits it on the river. You know, you've heard this tragic story. I've heard it 100 times. But had about 250 into the pot, probably about a $600 pot. Would have been pretty nice, but that's okay. We bought it for $300 on the day. We cashed out for $902 shortly after that hand, and it was a good day. So it took a little bit of grinding, a little bit of working today, but we got it up there. One hand I do want to go over, and I have no footage of this. I wasn't recording again at this time. So it was a pretty big hand. There was a straddle was on for $5. Undergun +1 makes it 10. I looked down at pocket deuces. I just make the call. What's interesting is there's 4 more callers, including the straddlers. So we go to a flop with 6 players in. So we got $60 in the pot. Flop comes out queen deuce 8 with 2 diamonds. The original raiser makes it $25. I go ahead and re-raise to $75. The question is, I don't know if I raised it enough here. She has a little over 100 in front of her before betting out the 25. So she has less than 100 left. I make it 75. So my push is to get her all in, which I believe is the right bet amount. However, with 4 still behind me to act, I feel I may not have bet enough. The next 2 fold. So the straddler makes the call of $75. The small blind folds, and the original raiser of 25 goes all in. It's only 113, so it does not reopen the action for me. I can only make the call, and the straddler makes the call as well. We have about 400 in the pot now. The turn is a 5 of spades again. So I go ahead and check a little bit of pot control here, and he checks as well. The river's a good one. It's a 5 of diamonds. I go ahead and check, because again, if he has the 3/8, full house under full house, it is possible. And he bets out $100 quickly. It's a very small bet to a $400 pot. And my guess is either he's excited about the diamond because he has flush draw, or he's excited about the diamond because he thinks I have a flush draw and he has a full house, 8's full of 5s. I only call here, and I think that might have been a mistake. I like a raise, I think maybe better, but I only call here, and he flips over king jack of diamonds for the flush, and obviously my full house wins. And the original raiser had ace queen for just top pair. So we take that down, a good sized pot. So no complaints as far as that goes. I just want to know what you think on the river there. Stack sizes are important. Him and I are the 2 chip leaders at the table. So he actually had more chips than me as well. So yeah, I'd like your feedback, see what you think about that hand. Again, we took it down. It was a good profit hand. Could we have done a little bit more with that? So yeah, let me know. I'd like to hear what you think. All right, without bringing it close to vlog number 5. Give a little hike at Red Rock. Probably a little too close to the waterfall. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll bring you some more table footage and shots from around Vegas here in the coming vlogs. Coming to you from Red Rock. We'll see you at the table.